Okay, as promised, I'm going to do my best to explain how exactly I was able to control and listen to an Arduino Uno through BACnet without having the BACnet stack successfully installed on the Uno. So this is my setup here. This is what I have. I've got, multiple BACnet clients on a LAN. I got multiple servers, devices on here, but I've got a Raspberry Pi on the network that I have set up as a BACnet device. I've downloaded the BACnet stack and I've installed it onto the Pi. You just download it at SourceForge and then run make clean all, and then you'll run all the commands from the binary folder or the .bin folder. So you run your BACnet server here. So when I'm talking to my Uno, I'm actually talking to this device. This is actually what's being exposed and what I'm seeing. But how do I get this information to be written to these BACnet points that's inside this device? Well, first of all, depending on how many inputs and outputs you need, you may have to create some more points dynamically. Create some objects, some BACnet objects dynamically, and then write to those, which is what I'm doing here. So when you just run backserve, you've only got one analog value. So I created analog value 2 just for this example. Now the magic happens with this device here, and there may be a way to do this on a single device, but for me it just seemed to work much smoother because I have 2 Raspberry Pis on my network to just say, okay, this one I'm going to dedicate to running Node Red. Node Red is basically like a protocol gateway. So what I'm doing with this Node Red is I'm pulling in HTTP data from the Uno. I can send HTTP data to the Uno to control outputs, but in this example, we're actually going to be reading a thermistor I have plugged into my Uno. So like we're getting a room temperature, and I'm going to pull that data in HTTP, and then I'm going to push it back out to my BACnet server and write that as a BACnet property. So on my Arduino, I'm running this Arduino control server here that exposes all of my points conveniently, and it even gives me a way that I can manually cut these things on and off. This right here is controlling my LED, but here's where my thermistor's at. Right now it's reading 78.3 degrees. Okay, so you run this control server on the Arduino. This is just an HTML page, and I'm going to pull that HTTP in on my flow here. So if you're not familiar with Node Red, this is where all the magic is happening in my experiment. Just ignore these green blocks if you're not familiar with this. What these are just debug blocks. Everything you see here, they're not doing anything. They're just allowing me to look at information along the way as it moves through the flow. That's all it's doing. So what we're doing right here with get Arduino page. Okay, first of all, the trigger. This is just how often you're going through the flow. So we got it cycling every 5 seconds. The first thing it's going to do is going to get the Arduino page, because that's where our information is at. And after it gets the page, it's going to extract A3, pin A3, and it's going to give us our temperature value. And then we're going to take that temperature value and we're going to build our BACnet command. This is where it's going to go out of our Node Red server and be written to that Raspberry Pi that we have running as a BACnet device where we have installed the BACnet stack. And so the command is going to be formulated like this, going through all of the folders to where the binaries are at. So we can run write property, BACnet write property, and when I started the server, I created it as device 777. So that's our device number, and then next you would put 2 for analog value, number 2, 85 is present value, written at priority 16, no index, real number, code 4, and then the temperature that we got from the previous node. So it's going to formulate that command, and so it sends that message payload out, and then we're just running that. We're just going to run that payload that's coming out as a command. So we formulate the command, and then this just runs the command. And so what you get, looking at debug 3, and then our output here, is you get that command that's generated with the updated temperature, and then we should get a reply like we do here where it says write property acknowledged. So once you have that, then that's the value you're going to be seeing in your BACnet Explorer or in your building automation software where you're pulling this point in. Right now I am subscribed to it, and my office is getting a little warm. But that's all there is to it. The secret is get familiar with Node-RED. It will make things like this possible.